how did you end up at EPA? You know, you've been there for 14 years, and you went there from the Secret Service. So, you know, the two seem very different atmospheres. So how did you end up there?
I thought I was going to get a break by going there, but I went there because of the unique opportunities that the EPA gave at the time that were really not available in the Secret Service. That's the ability to develop your other skill sets through outside employment. They have a very, I would say, liberal policy towards outside employment. And therefore, that was my interest. I had gotten married, I have children, and I wanted to provide more. And that was what drove me to come to EPA.
You know, before you were in the Secret Service. So tell us about your experience there. Like,
I hated protection. I wanted nothing to do with protection. In fact, I am a bit confused today in how I ended up being such a protection agent, because in the Secret Service, all I wanted to do was criminal cases. So I was in the DA's office in the Bronx and working a very high-level organized crime case. And
this was before the Secret Service?
Yes, and I'll never forget, I was under surveillance watching a main member of the Gambino crime family by the name of Greg De Palma meeting with some construction officials, city construction officials in the city of New York. And while I was in surveillance, I received a call by an agent who's now retired, Greg Dickey, I'll never forget, from the New York field office. And he said, congratulations, Special Agent Nino Perrotta, you've been selected to become an agent with the Secret Service. I couldn't sit still. Back then, I couldn't sit still for anything, but the fact that I had gotten that call, and I was so excited. So come on over to the Secret Service. I'm working their cases, and before you know it, the folks over in the Bronx DA's office, who had merged their case with the New York State Organized Crime Task Force, who now have worked and merged with the feds, asked me to come back to help on a case, this organized crime case that I had left. And I left with an unbelievable honor I'd like to share with you. Ercole Guardioso and Vincent Hines, the attorney at Vince and the head case, the case agent, case officer, Ercole Guardioso, turned to me and said, look, you know this case better than I do. You need to swear to the affidavits, the wiretaps of John A. Gotti Jr. and members of the Cosa Nostra. I remember going to this judge's home in Westchester County, and we were in her kitchen. And while I was talking to the judge about food and cooking, she's looking over the affidavit, and I was with Vincent Hines at the time, and she signs this affidavit. And soon after, I was in training for the Secret Service. But they then called me back and said, look, we need you to help us with this case. And Dual Mission, the book, has it all in there, so I'm not going to take the thunder out of the book.
Yeah.
As many critics have said, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer, but the book is interesting. I just wrote the book for record for my children one day and for those that would be interested. But that's how my life started. I actually had tremendous success, unlike most agents, in the beginning of their career. So here I am with a big case, and I don't know, well recognized, but I've only had 3 years on the job, maybe 4. And an opportunity opens up in Rome, Italy, and I fly to Rome, Italy, and work there for the Secret Service. Do a lot of cyber cases in Romania. I'll never forget the American people being victimized and calling me while I was in Romania, these small mom and pop businesses that had just gotten into the internet business of doing transactions and shipping merchandise around the world and being victimized by these hooligans. But at the end of the day, from Romania, I go to Bulgaria, finish out a very, very intense investigation there, and then I come back to Washington to do my Washington stint. And that's how I met my wife, and then history follows.